Oh, hey there, welcome back to Life of Shazil. If you're new around here, this channel is all about personal growth, entrepreneurship, and financial freedom, along with my own journey to the same. If that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure to hit the subscribe button. The last 12 months, 2024 flew away, and we are starting another great year, 2025. And to make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes I did in 2024, I am sharing the 10 most important lessons with you today. And honestly, before recording this video, I was a bit confused whether I should record this video or not, because most of the lessons that I am going to share with you in this video are honestly so cliche or typical that you might have already learned about those lessons before in your life. But then I realized that that's the point. That most of the times the lessons we learn these days have become too obvious and are too overshared that we tend to don't follow them actually. And if you actually listen to all the lessons that I'm going to share with you, although you might have heard them before, but if you make sure that you ingrain them before you start this year, then definitely this year will be the greatest year of your life. So make sure to stick around till the very end because the last lesson that I'm going to share with you may just change your whole perspective about watching these type of online content. So let's get started with lesson number 1 which I've learned this year, which is life is too short. And I know it is as cliche as it sounds, but honestly it's not just a saying. Life is actually very short. And the reason I realized it is because in the starting of 2024, I've set out a lot of audacious goals for myself कि इस साल ये करना है, वो करना है, ये करना है. But when I'm analyzing all of those goals by the end of the year, I might have achieved like just a half of it. And it's not because I've set too large of goals or too many goals, but it is because actually life is short. We have just finite amount of time. And if you take it for granted, every year we go like this. So plan it accordingly, plan your 2025 perfectly, keeping in mind that life is actually indeed very short. Now, the number 2 most important lesson that I've learned in 2024 is that to never fall into the trap of sunken cost fallacy. Now, what is sunken cost fallacy? For example, आप समझिए आपका एक प्रोजेक्ट है. You have invested a lot of money resources into that project, and now it's not working anymore. But instead of quitting it and starting something new, you are still investing your more time and energy into it just because you have already invested some money and some efforts into it. तो इसको बोलते हैं second cost fallacy कि just because to save and just because you are regretting and you are feeling guilty of all the time, energy, efforts you have already put in, आप future को भी अपना sacrifice कर रहे हो and future also you are not giving your time or you are not allowing yourself to start something new and you are stuck to this one thing. मेरे साथ भी काफ़ी बार हुआ कि there is one thing which I have invested my time in and I am like अब इतना सब कुछ इसमें ऑलरेडी डाल ही दिया है तो इसको कंटिन्यू करते रहता हूँ, मैं करते रहता हूँ, कुछ तो हो जाएगा. बट नहीं, इफ़ यू सी कि इट हैज़ नो फ्यूचर, लीव इट एट देयर, लीव इट एज इट इज़. छोड़ दो, जो हो गया वो गया, जितना जाना था चले गया, आप आगे बढ़ो. इफ़ यू अगेन एंड अगेन एंड स्टिल यू आर ऑन टू दैट विदाउट एनी फ्यूचर प्रॉस्पेक्ट, देन इज जस्ट अ वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. So never fall into the trap of sunken cost fallacy. Number 3, the how is not important. Honestly, a lot of people are stuck with the idea that how this is going to be done or how am I going to do that. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I've personally realized it in this year that how does not matter. The how will fix itself. If you know your why and what, then everything will fix itself. If you know why do you want to do a certain thing, if you know that what exactly do you want to do, the how will fix itself. The how will take care of itself. Don't wait around to know everything in advance. Just get started. Know your why and what, and the how will fix itself. Number 4, you cannot learn swimming by reading or listening about it. Now, again, I know it sounds very cliche and it obviously is, and it is also a very obvious thing. But entrepreneurship is also very much like swimming. You cannot learn it by reading or listening about it. A lot of people, including me, have wasted a lot of time in 2024 by reading a lot of unnecessary books actually, and by listening to a lot of podcasts and all those things. So entrepreneurship and personal growth is a kind of skill that you cannot learn by listening to others or just by reading about it. You have to practice it just like swimming. You have to get in the waters and you have to drown once or twice before you actually learn that skill. So make sure you get more hands-on action in 2025 rather than just sitting and talking about it. Number 5, always remember your roots. Now honestly, this is a very personal thing to everyone, and everyone has a phase in their life where they eventually realize this thing. But for me, it has been year 2024 where I have gotten a good amount of successes. I've gotten some lows as well, but through all the cycles of highs and lows, I have understood that to always keep in mind your roots and where you came from, and the people that have been with you from the starting, and the places that you have been born up in, on all those things which are there with you from the starting, you should never forget it. एक बार के लिए आप सक्सेस भूल जाओ, अपने एम्बिशन से ड्रीम भूल जाओ, बट नेवर एवर forget your roots. So this is one important lesson, although it is a phase thing which you will get maybe in your own journey whenever. But for me, it has been year 2024 and I'm glad that it happened, because now I am able to even focus more on the things in the future, because now I know the people that support me, things that support me, and things that keep me strong throughout the journey. So this is an important lesson, to always remember your roots. Wait, before the next lesson, a quick reminder to subscribe to this awesome value pack channel. Done? Okay, let's get going. Number 6. Every rejection you face is a redirection in disguise. Honestly guys, this is very true. A lot of you might think that if you're rejected from something or by someone, then it's end. It's over for that particular thing, but no. With me in 2024, काफ़ी ऐसी चीज़ें हुई थी जिसमें I was rejected, a lot of investors, a lot of people, a lot of things which I was trying, but it turned out to be good for me. Because I didn't get that opportunity, I somehow got to know some other things and I started working on them, and they worked out for me miraculously. So don't ever get disheartened when you're rejected by something or someone. Make sure and just try to understand and think that this is something that was not meant to be, and some better thing will come out of instead of this. Number 7. Truth, honesty and confrontation is always the best answer. This I've learned personally through some personal incidences, but as you go in life, in your entrepreneurship journey, in your personal growth journey, just remember that always speaking the truth, always being honest about what you are doing, what your plans are, what things right now are going on in your life, and always confronting those things with yourself and other people is the best way to go about it. I'll not go into much depth into this particular lesson, but just remember this, as we were taught in our childhood, कि honesty is the best policy. It actually is. Number 8. Don't wait for one thing to finish before you start another. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't tell बाद में कि Shazil has said कि don't wait for one thing to finish before start another, so you don't apply it on a relationship, okay? Nothing related to that. I'm only talking about personal growth and entrepreneurship things. Personally, in 2024, what mistake I did is that I was waiting for some business or some things or XYZ to get over before I could put my hands on other things. You can actually juggle many things parallelly. जैसे वो एक कोड है ना कि Jack of all trades and master of none. But people forget कि this is not the full quote. Let me today tell you the full quote is actually Jack of all trades, master of none is oftentimes better than master of only one. This is a full quote. So you actually can be a jack of many trades at the same time. So don't wait for one thing to finish before you start another. Number 9. Don't get overwhelmed by today's fast world. Honestly guys, I know it's a very fast world and 2024 just flew over like this. Even for me. One of the reasons is that today's world is so fast and we are consuming so much information, knowledge, videos, content online, that it has just played with our minds, and the concept of time and the concept of being present in the moment has been lost from all of us, just because we see a lot of things happening online कि war is happening, कहीं पे क्या हो रहा है, कहीं पे क्या हो रहा है, but what social media has done for us is that it has made every problem our problem, and that should not be the case. पहले throughout the history also all these things used to happen कि कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ पे क्या, everything now we know. Earlier लोगों को पता ही नहीं चलता था तो उनको फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता था लाइफ में. Today everything has become so overwhelming because we can consume so much content online. So this is one of the most important lessons that I've learned this year, is to narrow down my consumption on the content on those things. Follow the content like Life of Shazil and these type of channels, and just unsubscribe all the wasteful channels. Now the next one is the most important lesson that I've learned in the year 2024, which is number 10. You don't need to follow every advice. Now honestly guys, if there was one lesson that I want you to take away from this video, would be this, that you don't need to follow every advice out there. ऑनेस्टली इतने सारे लोग आजकल कंटेंट बना रहे हैं, इतना सारा कंटेंट अवेलेबल है ऑनलाइन, पॉडकास्ट, बुक्स, मूवीज, रील्स, एवरीथिंग इज आउट देयर. Everyone is telling you different thing. Someone is telling you this is how you become a millionaire, this is how you become a billionaire, this is how you earn 1 lakh per month, this is how you get girls, this is how you etc etc. सबके एडवाइस सुनोगे तो कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे. दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स विच कॉल एनालिसिस पैरालिसिस, कि आप इतना सब कुछ ऑनलाइन देख रहे हो कि एक्चुअली एक्शन कुछ नहीं ले रहे. पहले लोगों को कम पता होता था, करते ज़्यादा थे, तो सक्सेस रेट उनकी ज़्यादा थी. आजकल ये सब चीज़ें rather than being a advantage for us, so many content, it's becoming a disadvantage for today's generation. So just follow very specific things. सबकी सुनो, करो अपनी, but take the useful content out, take the useful advices out, see what resonates with you, see what works out for you personally and follow those things only. बाकी सब छोड़ दो and follow only channels, very important channels and pages like Life of Shazil, like अभी तो ये दिमाग में आ रहा है. Otherwise, don't follow many channels, don't follow many things in life, don't follow many gurus out there. See someone जो आपकी तरह हो, आपकी तरह बात करता हो, who you resonate with, who is also on a growth and success journey just like you are. And follow them, and as always, along with them and along with me, build a life that's worth living.